Howdy everybody, you're also most Obechosc here playing Orcs and Stein Unchained. In this series we're going to be covering Endless, and I'm going to be playing as Max for all of these. Some of them I haven't done yet, like Krug and Keep, Eventide Fortress, The Wall, and Avalanche, but we're going to go ahead and give this a shot as well. All the rest of these I have done, and we will try and do our best here. Let's go ahead and create a game. So we're going to start off with the baths. Let's talk about our loadout. So we're going to generically use the same loadout for every map. Some of them, it's not going to be as useful as others, and we might talk about maybe some other ways to do it, but we're going to be able to get at least 5 stars for all of them using this simple layout here. One thing you're going to need to have before you start any sort of endless is barricades. You're going to need them to be at least, I believe, tier 5, and you're going to have reinforced barricades. On top of that, you're going to want wall building, PhD, and overprotective. And this is going to allow your barricades to not take very much damage from all of the fire elementals, fire ogres, and stuff like that that come out. The next one we do doesn't have as many, but they do have a lot of TNT archers and no grenadiers, so we'll have to watch out for that. This one has some TNT archers, but it's mostly the fire golems and the fire ogres that are going to be an issue. We're going to use these 2 mercenaries a lot as well. We might switch the priest out with the other priest at some point, but this one has a really cool AoE attack that basically does lots of damage, and that's why we have him. And we have the stable hand to get around the map a little bit faster if we need to. We're going to use boom barrel rollers. This is going to be swapped out for some of the maps. It's either going to be boom barrel rollers, it's going to be the arcane bowling ball, or the swinging mace, and we're going to kind of swap those out as we need to. Also, some of the maps I might swap that out with single barricades as well. We'll see. Now, whenever I play Endless, I like to also make everything in the same manner that I would make it if it was Sabotage. And that's because Sabotage, you're trying to last as long as possible, last longer than your opponent. And in this, it's somewhat of the same mentality. So we're going to have the Stable Hand Guardian on the left, and we're going to have the Priest on the right. And then we're going to place a barricade here. And what this is going to do is this is going to cause minions to poke their head in and say, oh, that's cool, and then they're going to run across this wall and be rerouted, and they're going to run across this wall as well. So we're going to start trapping on this wall. We're going to start with some of these traps and these traps. Alright, so basically what this is going to do is all the minions are going to route through here. Now some of the minions are going to come out to the outside, which is fine, but it's only going to be half of them. At least half of them are going to hug the wall, and then basically only a quarter of the minions should ever come out this far, and they'll get affected by the lightning traps and all that as well, so that's always a good thing. If you do have the arcane bowling balls as well, if there's 2 of you, put arcane bowling balls here, and they'll shoot down a straight line and hit everything down there. Yeah, you're not going to be able to get 5 stars if you don't have the reinforced barricades, because you're going to need the barricades in order to suffice. Well, I say that you might be able to do something. Don't forget to use your abilities. And the reason we're going to be using Max is not because of the cheaper traps, although that is nice, but just because he's a very generic and a good hero to have. Let's get more accuracy. That way it's easier to pick off the fire ogres that come out. We're going to need to focus them down. Now, the problem usually becomes, and this is when you get super late, are the trolls. These small guys, they stop becoming a problem pretty quickly. But the trolls definitely will become a problem. And so we want to do as much damage to them as possible in the shortest amount of time as possible. And so that's why we use these lightning traps, is because they're super powerful. Do lots and lots of damage. And, well, trolls have a lot of health, so. Now, one thing I do want to touch on, Cygnus is really good, because Cygnus can stand here in the rift. He can get rift power-ups from right here and hit things coming around that corner. with his abilities. So Cygnus is a really good pick if you have him for this map specifically. So I would definitely suggest using him a lot. Plus he's also lightning, and lightning is cool. Just saying. The flame bracers are really useful in this for a lot of different reasons, but they expand 2 squares, right? So you'll have this square and this square. Basically, the width of those 2 tars if I was to place another tar there. And the reason why it's so good is because for all the small fast dudes, they'll burn completely just running through the flame bracers. Completely just be burned. So with the abilities that you're going to want to choose, you're going to want to choose something that goes late game. And I'm thinking initial damage, or I think the stun duration would be better. Because my damage will cap, whereas a duration, I mean, it's a duration, so I think we'll be alright. Now, grinders are another good thing to have. If you do like a grinder and then a lightning trap, grinder, lightning trap, you could do really good combos with that, and that'll be really useful as well. But like I said, we're just trying to do lots of bulk damage, and this is a really good way to do that. And I'll kind of show you the setup of the barricades. Nothing should get through this, so I don't need to babysit this at all. If you're lower level, you're going to have lower level traps, and you might have to babysit a little bit. But starting out like that's fine. One of the things I see people do on Endless is they'll over here they'll have they'll like trap up this room, which is fine. You can do that. I would just suggest if you're going to trap it up, only use ice traps. You don't need anything else. And just do lots and lots of the ice traps that Hogarth is good with. And the reason you're going to want to use a lot of ice traps is because of the fire golems. No other reasons. And we might as well kind of start this with the next wave. And this is one way to do it. I have, in the past, with like an ally, stood at the very front and killed everything up till like round 27. And nothing got past the front room. So it is possible. But this is a very safe way to do it if you have the reinforced barricades. It's pretty important that you do. If not, then you just need really good high damage heroes to play as. Alright, so there's the first. There's a kobold. Alright, so let's. Okay. There we go. And there. Check it out. Isn't that cool? And we'll actually wall him like that. So these are going to be, we're going to have one more barricade, and after that we're done with barricades. We're going to have one more barricade right here. So these are our barricades. This looks like a mess, it kind of is. But the whole idea is we're going to make them take as long as possible to get to the rift. And we're going to be able to maneuver around these barricades to drop aggro and to gain aggro. Which, if they see the rift, they'll go for the rift. Ogres, I know they do that. I'm not sure if trolls do that. But they'll have to run all the way around here, all the way around here. They'll have to fight 2 of those guardians and then run in through the rift. So that's kind of a long ways to go with 2 guardians and a hero to fight. Plus whatever traps we can get set up over there.
The rift will be protected. They will not reach the rift.
And of course, one of the things we're going to do is ceiling ballistas. We're going to have quite a few of those as well. If you can have the big game ballistas, those are definitely good to have. If you could get 6 of them, put them right there. Right underneath this centerpiece. Yeah. If you put 6 of them right here, they'll get anything coming through that's going to cause too much trouble for you. If you have them. If you don't, no big deal. No big deal. You'll just have to focus down the bosses. And you can put them in here as well, in this room. Just putting them right here is nice because then there's going to be a
They've summoned a boss minion.
what's it called that shows up right there? An unstable rift. Alright, so the fire element, or the earth elementals, they don't stop for anybody. So what we're going to do is we're going to place one of these here. And we're going to do tar spike and then another floor scorcher tar, floor scorcher tar. And we're going to do that. And that's going to help with the keeping the damage onto the trolls as well. But we're going to focus on the floor scorchers first.
The boss minion has been taken down.
And of course, the nice thing is whenever those guys break, their little dudes will run back. They'll run backwards for some reason. I don't know why. But anyways, that's all we really need for that. The rest of it's just going to be about taking out the trolls. So we're going to do, like I said, floor scorcher, tar spike, floor scorcher, tar, floor scorcher, tar. And we'll just do 2 spikes with lightning walls around, and then boom barrel rollers at the top. All right, so we're going to have to take care of Bouncer Bear, or else he can cause issues for us. I don't know why they'd never just like stay out, you know. But hopefully he shows up. Come on, man, attack me, boy. It's like he drops aggro for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, I thought maybe the little dudes would get through, but I don't think they will. I have enough traps and damage to take care of that. Okay, so I'm going to want my boom barrel rollers. I'm going to start putting those down now. And the reason I'm going to put those down is because they have a spring. And that spring reduces the cooldown by 3% every turn, or every wave. And so you're going to want to max those out as early as possible. That way they can have a higher damage output. And the damage output's pretty good. One of the best in the game because you can do 2 springs, so you can do 2 of those and have the cooldown be like almost nothing. And they're just basically pooping out boom barrel rollers constantly. Pride Assassin we don't need to worry about. He's probably the only one we don't need to worry about. Him and the Null Breeder. I think it's what's called Null Breeder. You don't really need to worry about them. You can wait for them to come to you before you have to take care of them. Yeah, those 2 are going to be on different timers for a little bit. At some point they will come together. Alright, so that might be all we do for those. We'll think about putting 1 here and a couple here as well. But we're going to see how many traps we have left. So we're 37 out of 85 traps. And that's something you got to remember to keep in mind, is that. So what I'll probably end up doing is getting rid of those ballista and putting them back here. And the reason I'm going to move them is simply because, well, let's go ahead and do that now. Simply because I don't want them wasting those shots on weaker units when the weaker units are going to die anyways. So I'm going to throw them in the back, and these are going to hit the bigger dudes that end up making it this far. So a lot of people like to destroy unstable rifts. I'm going to let that one open up. And the reason you want to let them open up sometimes is because they give you extra money. So I don't know why you destroy them if you can kill what's inside of them, you know? A lot of people don't want to do that, though. A lot of people say, oh, I have to destroy it. You don't. You don't.
rift.
The unstable rift was not destroyed. Enemy minions incoming!
Explosive kobolds, still give money.
You'll never notice this.
Still give money.
They will not pay. None so fast. Trespasser. The rift will be protected. They will not.
Twice, cut one.
And we'll do the very first row here.
A boss is on its
One of the
way.
reasons why we want to do that as well. Well, let's go ahead and take out Urza the Fire Lord.
A lot of death. Boss minion defeated.
Now, Max is really good at taking out these guys because it does lightning damage. So as soon as one of them dies, it basically blows up the little mini elementals that pop out. Those can end up becoming an issue for others, but not for Max. He's pretty good at dealing with that. So yeah, we're gonna do a line of ballistas here, and that's because there's gonna be no grenadiers that come up, and they'll stand here and launch grenades at this guy, and the grenades will settle down here because there's no way to disable them or anything, and then they'll blow up, just hurting your barricade. So if you have some kind of trap to take care of that, of anything that comes up through this side, anything that can hop over walls, that'll be good to have. And those guys will do that, plus they'll take any of the trolls that come out here as well. So they're kind of a defense on this side against anything that can come over. And they're definitely much needed. And that's how fast we can run with this guy, his speed boost. They come up with an explosive guy, we just hit his speed boost and run through everyone. There's our little shield thing to negate damage. Easy day.
rift will be protected. They will not reach the rift.
And we'll just let our traps do what they do best and kill things.
Twice, cut one.
If you don't have boom barrel rollers, I would say bring the arcane bowling balls and place them against these walls here, and then these walls in the back, and they'll shoot up and down this line, and they'll kill everything here as well. Put them at that door. Put one here, like one here, and one here, and they'll shoot down that pathway as well. So,
The rift will be protected. No trespass.
okay, so that's all the ballistas we'll put on that side. We'll go ahead and put another tar, and we'll do our spikes.
This right here.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll have another 6 traps there.
Rift will be protected.
Yeah, that's pretty good. We've got our 4 ballista back here.
I protect. I quit my post
never noticed
only
this.
when properly relieved.
So we'll have that boom barrel roller. And he'll hit whatever comes out there. And then we'll have these squares also with boom barrel rollers. And then our setup will be nearly complete. It's almost done. It's looking good. This whole kill box here will take care of anything small. Once they get past this, it's going to be anything big like trolls. And then they're going to end up dying from all the floor spikes that we're going to put down and everything else. So, yeah, super cool.
Beware, intruder.
And of course, this is really easy to achieve with Max, basically only with Max.
No trespassing. Twice, cut once. No, don't pass. Whoopsie, almost hurt myself on that.
I Guard the reef.
I do all my own stuff.
The rift will be protected.
Okay, there you go.
Trespass.
Any of these I need to sell, I'll sell them to replace them with something else. But basically, that's going to be that. Underneath them are going to be the wall charges, and underneath though we're going to do floor spikes and tar rotating. And we might do a floor scorcher along a long path, only if it's like maximum efficiency. Cool. There's only one of those left, which is nice.
I'll just leave this right here.
There we go. And those lightning traps, whenever they kill the fire elementals, they will also kill whatever's inside of the little mini fire elementals. So.
The rift will be protected.
I would say use grinders, but I think the wall chargers do more damage overall. And also, if you have a second person, there's a couple of different things that you can do. There's a couple of things that I would like to try, but I need somebody with level 7 traps to see how effective it even is. But you'd actually be starting from the other side and going in this way. Same basic setup, but it'd be coming from that side instead of this side. And you would need certain ceiling traps, aka the haymaker. My haymaker is only a small level, like 3 or something. Plus, it takes up a trap slot for the rest of these traps here.
Pay for this. You'll never notice this.
And of course, as I need to, I'll be selling these and then placing more traps over on this side, but only as I need to.
They will not reach the rift. They will not reach the rift.
That's really all you can talk about. Fire ogres are a problem. If you play somebody who has ice like Tundra, you'll do just fine. Because fire ogres and fire elementals will take extra damage from him, and Hogarth as well. So that sound just now, that's no grenadiers. So you're gonna want to make sure that you're not pulling aggro from anything whenever they show up. It looks like they died before they were able to toss any grenades, which is ideal.
You will pay for this.
Now, if you really wanted to, you could put more boom barrel rollers up at the top, and you can do that in the very front room as well. And that's one of the reasons why boom barrel rollers are so good, is because you can put them in any elevation and they just drop down. They can drop the square below if you put them one tile up, or if you put them any higher than that, usually they'll do a square and a half below, as far as like how far away they go.
us up on that.
They'll never notice this.
Another floor scorcher. Alright, we want to take out the Dwarven Priest. He can get pretty out of control. Where is he? I don't see him. There he is. There we go.
They will not reach the rift.
So remember, you can stand right here and fire down upon them.
They will not reach the rift. No trespassing.
Alright, cool. Now let's continue with our floor traps here.
Leave this right
With
here.
my post only when properly released.
An unstable rift is opening. Destroy it.
Beware, intruder.
Alright, so we're at 84 out of 85.
Will be protected.
We'll sell these two and put 2 floor traps. We'll do a floor scorcher and a tar.
I guard the rift.
The unstable rift was not destroyed. Enemy minions incoming.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do a floor scorcher and a floor spike, or a tar and a floor spike. And that'll be all we do for traps. And they'll be fully trapped up, and from there it's just surviving. So that's one of the reasons why you maybe don't want to pick Max, is because the discount his passive doesn't mean anything after you get fully trapped up. And so for late game, Cygnus is going to be a better choice, Stink Eye's a better choice, Dead Eye's a better choice. There's a lot of better choices. The trap setup is going to be the same. He doesn't gain any cool things for the traps. And so, there you go. Now, if you have somebody that has arcane, those arcane pads, I can't remember what they're called, just put a whole bunch of those down all the way through, and then that'll like have a damage spike for your floor traps there.
I'm rubber, you are glue.
The cool thing about Max is that he can do that. That's incredibly useful.
They will not reach the rift.
Alright, let's kind of watch our traps go to work here. They do get slowed from him when they're right there.
You do not belong.
And apparently lightning does damage based upon max health. So if they explode somebody that has a lot of max health, then it'll do a lot of AoE damage. Apparently. Now, Ozil used to be really good at this, but when they reworked Ozil, they kind of got rid of some of that. Anyways, everything that's going to do damage is going to come over here. So, if you have single barricades here, 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 and here are always good. Because if I'm a fire ogre and I'm sitting this corner, I'm doing damage to this entire barricade. Whereas if it's a single barricade, it's just the single one that I'm doing damage to.
Are under attack.
Which one? I don't know. Probably that one.
Zippity doo dah. Please stop on my account.
If you want to buy yourself some more time, you can always. Ooh, we're gonna need to get rid of both of those.
Crossbow in the line
Okay.
of cool.
And that's why you get that thing that makes it easier for you to target.
They will not reach the rear. Trespasser! None will pass.
I will say, out of the fire traps, Brimstone is the best. It does the most damage. However, it only does the most damage as far as like a single unit. But as far as like affecting units, the Floor Scorchers are the best because they flip back medium and light units, as well as burn everything in front of them for quite some radius. So maybe overall damage they do better. But as far as single unit damage, Brimstone is far superior. I mean, by quite a lot. It just depends on what you need, and of course we need the Floor Scorchers because it flips back the Earth Elementals.
The rift will be protected. Leave this place. Who disturbs my watch? Trespasser!
And of course, as you see, nothing's going to make it right now on Wave 21. Nothing's going to make it across this first line of stuff. Maybe 25 they're going to start coming over here, but then this guy's AoE is going to start getting involved, and he's going to do some cool AoE stuff. As this guy also has a really cool AoE thing, and by the time they get over here, if they're over here, you just stand in the corner and just pew, 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 shoot them all. But these ballistas haven't even gotten part of the fight yet. Those have. These have not. As you can see, it's a really good setup, really good way to get 5-star this endless map. I mean, it's pretty simple, it's pretty basic. It says level 1 to 10, doubt it. Unless you can take out those fire ogres, fire golems, you're going to have a hard time if your barricades aren't similar. You're going to have a hard time if you're lower level regardless because your damage isn't as much. You might have to start using black power or something.
I quit my post only when properly released. Leave this place. Look out! You do not belong here.
Nah, there's the no grenadier that was destroyed. Okay. And they show up yellow on the mini-map, so if you see him, just kind of fire into that area. If you have Max who does like cool AoE damage, you know, he hits one and then it kind of like shoots off to others, just kind of fire into that area. Now you could do flip traps and push traps, so the ideal thing, if you have somebody else, they have all the ice traps, the big boxes of ice, and they put those from the beginning all the way up until like right there. And then you'll have, well, up until here I guess, then you'll have the haymakers in the ceiling here.
Feel a stunning time.
And then here you'll have push traps. And then you'll have the arcane bowling balls on the edge. And what that'll do is that'll basically take every large unit and toss it into here. But those are only going to be useful right here in this section. And then of course you're going to want them to bring the hunter arrows, whatever they're called, the ballistas. And so they're going to need a couple of specific traps that you're not going to be bringing because you need all of these other traps for this area in right here. So the push traps and stuff aren't going to be as useful after a certain point.
The rift will be protected.
That looks like it hurt.
Beware, intruder. You do not belong here. Be gone. Get go. I quit my post. No, the intruder.
I'm kind of thinking about selling this one for a floor spike. Remember, trolls are always trolls are what's going to kill you in the end if you don't take care of the fire units. As long as your barricades stand, trolls are going to be the problem. There's a lot of earth elementals coming in.
Who disturbs my watch? Leave this place! Who disturbs my watch?
Yeah, those ballistas are insane, dude. They do an insane amount of damage.
The rift will
Especially because they do armor reduction as well. Well, the ones I have do, anyways.
They will not reach the reef. Beware, intruder. Leave this place!
No, I would normally play until I can't play anymore. As in, like, there's going to be no way for me to go any farther. However, I'm not in that kind of mood today. Today, I'm just going to be making vids on beating endless maps, kind of the style. And of course, like I said earlier, every time I play endless, I play sabotage the same way. It's all about surviving as long as you can.
Will be protected.
Our barricades are under attack.
Alright, cool. There's wave 25. Now, we gotta go one more wave in order to get the 5 stars. And we'll get that here in a second. Human image, not a bad thing to have to fight against. It's pretty easy to take out.
I guard the rift.
You are getting very sleepy.
I don't know how to tell which one's which, but there you go. Or which one's the real one, and which one's not. But there you go.
Line of cool.
Reach the rift. Be gone. He will pay for this. The intruder. Leave this place. Okay, I am not with that. Who disturbs my watch? Beware, intruder.
Alright, and from here on out,
Beware, intruder. The rift will be
we'll just see what happens.
Our barricades are under attack. Our barricades are under attack. They've destroyed our barricades. Enemies at the rift. We only have half our rift points remaining. Oh yeah, we're good.
That's faster than I thought. So I guess they don't come out until 26. I remember them coming out sooner, but the fire ogres don't come out until 26. So you only have to deal with the elementals, which push traps and flip traps will take care of. So yeah, maybe it is possible at low level. I don't know. It'll definitely be something to try out. And at some point, I'm going to make a new account. I guess once this gets like maxed out, I'll make a new account and start playing everything with a fresh and new account. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy that video. I'm going to make another video and a couple of others with all of the rest of these on Endless, so you can see how to beat them or how I beat them on Endless. Alright, so without further ado, have a great day.